Hello! Welcome to another
VanChat Tuesday.
Yay! And in this one, we're going to talk about what Brexit means to us, it means to Cooper, and our travel plans next year.
Yes.
So, without further ado, let's talk about the B word.
Yes. Bog roll.
Bastards.
No.
Obviously, we've all known about it. It's been 4 or 5 years now in the making.
Yeah.
It just so happens that we are probably a couple of weeks away from it actually meaning something.
Yeah.
Changing something that we do.
Yeah.
So, as much as we can, because they've not agreed everything yet, we've been trying to work out what it means for us right here in Spain right now, and also what it means for any future travel plans and actually getting back into the UK and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll get onto that in a minute, but first of all, what we do know right now is all about Cooper and Cooper's travel plans.
Yes. Well, Cooper's travel plans are, well, pretty much whatever we decide. However, getting Cooper back into the UK hasn't changed at all. So as far as we're concerned, going back into the UK, we'll do the same thing. We'll go and visit a vet, usually in France, 1 day to 5 days before you return. It's a minimum of 24 hours for the tablet to work, I'm assuming. And then you can get back to the UK with your passport. Of course, they put it in there because they will still be allowing people with EU pet passports back into the UK with no changes at all. So that's going to remain the same. So if you've got a pet passport for your dog or cat or ferret that has been issued in the EU, then you'll be fine using that. I don't think anything changes from there.
Just a disclaimer on that one. Obviously, the UK has now left the EU.
Yeah.
So a UK pet passport, and it does say on the front of it,
Just say UK,
original country issued it. That isn't going to be valid.
No, that's invalid now.
What we've been having a chat with the people on the campsite we're at now, a lot of expats here. A lot of conversation about this going on, a lot of people doing different things, but the consensus seems to be that, as Mandy just said, that the European pet passport will be accepted in the UK, that we'll get Cooper a European pet passport while we're out here. Yeah,
so we're going to have a look and see. We're going to go see a vet and see if we can get him issued a European pet passport, sort of one with the Spanish stamp on it, maybe, which means that he can get back into the UK with the same rules as we have now, but it also means that we can get him back out into the EU without needing to get that European health certificate, which is what they've just decided.
Yeah, so that's the alternative, isn't it? If you can't get the EU pet passport, then the standard procedure from then is this new certificate, health certificate, isn't it?
Yep, so it's been replaced. So the UK passport, UK pet passport is now, or from the 1st of January, will not be valid to get into Europe.
Yep.
What you'll need to do is make sure that your pet has had its rabies jab 21 days before you come over, and you have a European health certificate allocated to it. You've got to go and see a particular vet. It's got to be the same kind who will issue a pet passport because they've had extra training.
So it's got to be pre-approved, haven't they, for doing that sort of thing?
And then they will do the EHC, which basically shows the microchip and the fact that they've had their rabies jab and that they are in good health, and that lasts for 4 months. And is it 10 days, maximum of 10 days before you travel. So you have to get your certificate within 10 days of your travel date for it to be valid, and then it's valid for 4 months.
Which is a right pain, because apparently as well, if you travel out and then back in the UK, when you travel back out, they'll say, no, your health certificate for your pet is per trip.
It's already been used. That's what we've heard. Obviously, they're still putting out all these different bits of groundworks on what's going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll get back into the UK with no problems, won't we?
Yeah, that's okay. Usual thing. Arrive at the terminal. Tag goes on just to make sure that the ID chip can be read.
Scanner thing. Yeah.
And then they just look to see that the vet's signed off the little bit and his health certificate, passport, whatever it is, to say you've had the worm
tablet done within the right amount of time.
Yeah, off you go. But anyway, that gets us on to the next subject, which is our travel plans and what Brexit means to us as of right now, shall we say. What we do know. I can't see it changing that much.
No.
I really don't think that any negotiations that are going on right now are going to change the Shenzhen 180 kind of rule.
360 thing, whichever way it works out.
Because right now, any European citizen coming to the UK has 180 days in every 360 days in the UK. In Europe, that's changing a little bit. Portugal, apparently, they're all right with that now,
Yep,
aren't they?
they've done the same deal, so you can use your 180 days allowance. You see, I wonder why it's 180 and 360, because it's 365 days.
Yeah, we're being
a year.
shortchanged there, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. That there's they've allowed the 180 and 360, the same as the UK offers to Portuguese or any EU citizens in any way. So they're offering the same thing. There's been talk, from what we've heard since we've been speaking to expats and things on campsites, that Spain are looking to do the same, and I think it's got a lot to do with the fact of these, and this is what they call themselves, the winter birds that come over here and spend
basically
all of winter.
tourists.
Yeah, like we're doing basically now. But you come over and you spend your 6 months of UK winter time over here getting the nicer weather.
Yep.
And of course that's going to be a problem for anybody if they change it to 90 and 180 or keep it as 90 and 180. So it's Portugal have done it. Maybe that's setting a precedent, who knows, and hopefully some other countries will do it as well, because at the end of the day there's a lot of tourism that comes over here in the winter months. So
I mean, obviously it's a snag in the fact that you've now got to try and calculate things and work out dates and all that kind of stuff, because this date, whether it be 90 or 180 days, it's not a contiguous block. So it's not like, oh, well, you've been home for, sort of 80 days now, you've lost 10 days. Every day counts. So it means that, travel time, you've got to make that count. If you are wanting to leave the EU to get your 90 days somewhere else, like Turkey or Bulgaria or the UK, then you've got travel time to get across there to then come back. And there's lots of little different calculations in there that they keep a track of. So when you enter the EU border, wherever that may be, for us, France, get off the channel, France, they scan it in. From that point on, you as a person, if you get a replacement passport, it doesn't extend your time, but you as a person have whatever it is, 90 or 180 days from that point to get back out of Europe. So hopefully there'll be a system where we can easily check and keep track of our own time allocation, but they're doing it anyway. So if you do get caught overstaying your welcome, potentially there's a fine. Worse than that, I think there's a possibility that you would actually get, if not banned, but restricted from re-entry.
Like black flagged by the EU. There was somebody we were speaking to, an American person who they'd overstayed their visa, or their 3 months. They'd overstayed by a month, and when they were going back through, they got out of France with no problems at all. But when they went through immigration in the US, they pointed out this tiny little symbol in their passport, which you wouldn't think anything of, but that meant that they are no longer welcome back in the EU. And there's a whole, whether it's American thing or not, but you've got to go and see the embassy, you've got to get permission to come back in again once you've had that little black flag against your passport. So that's obviously something to keep into consideration. If you do want to come back, you can take the mickey as much as you like, but if they're really... Yeah,
if they're that hot on it, then obviously it's new to us as UK citizens, but to the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, they know what they're doing. They've been tracking people for so long. So we just got to get used to these rules. And for us, it's one of those things where we wanted to do quite a few things next year. Now, I guess one bonus right now is from the 1st of January, if we're already in Spain, no one's going to scan our passports to know how long that's then tagging along. Maybe, I don't know if it would somehow kick in straight away because we came to France and therefore it's got to pick up our French entry date.
I suppose the thing is that we're allowed 90 days from the 1st of January. So as long as we leave before the 31st days of September, the 31st of March, then they've got no grounds to say whether we've been here longer or not.
I get that, but from what I'm trying to work out is, say for example, we want to do 2 trips this year, or next year, sorry, as well as us still being in Europe. So we want to go to Scandinavia for at least 3 months, sometime around August, and then pretty much from Scandinavia, hopefully go to the UK for, mind you, that's going to be the next thing. He's got to go to the UK for 3 months to then get back into Europe. So hopefully they do change it to the 180, because then if we go to Scandinavia for 3 months, we can come back here. But then we're still got to leave before January, and it's that balance.
It is one of those things where you've really got to start adding up your days to see how long it is. Because I mean, if we only stayed in Scandinavia for 85 days and then came back to the UK, then we still got 5 days in the bank to be able to drive to Bulgaria or to drive to somewhere else that we want to do. So if you leave yourself enough time to get to another non-EU country, then you can drive through the EU for that time, spend 90 days in that other EU country, and then it will reset.
Yeah.
And then you can come back and spend as much time as you like. Well, 90 days.
Yeah. So for us, this year is going to be a bit of a test in the fact that if we're still in Europe, are they going to start counting that up for us straight away because we're already here? Which means that then if we go to Scandinavia later on in the year, we've got to go back to the UK and then wait possibly until January, January 2022, to come back out to do all this over again. Yeah,
well, I suppose it does. That is going to be one of those we'll have to wait and see, folks, to see what goes on. But we've had lots of people saying how are we going to deal with it, and the only way we're going to deal with it is to deal with it.
Yep,
you've just got to
go by the rules.
Yep, think about what you're doing, plan ahead, work out how long you need to be in EU countries if you're planning on going to any non-EU countries, and just allocate that time accordingly. It's going to be very hard for John. Because John doesn't like planning. No, John's a fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. Even the 10 days in advance to get an EHC is going to be a pain in the bum for John, which is why we're looking to see if we can get an EU passport for Coop.
Yeah,
so at least that's one less thing that you have to try and plan for.
But obviously, a lot of people have been asking for a while now, what are you doing? And there's no way of getting around this rule. Like I say, other country, their citizens have been doing this for ages. So it's just that we as UK citizens have got to understand how it works and just stick to it.
There's lots of murmurings, isn't there, of travel visas.
Yep.
So you can get an extended stay travel visa.
Yep.
The EU have never done it before for any other country, so whether they do it for us now, I don't know. But each individual country, so if you just turn around and say I want to go to Spain, you can apply to Spain for a travel visa.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
And then they're also thinking of residence visas for people who have second properties over here.
Yeah.
So if you've got obviously a fixed address, then you can apply 3 yearly. I think the talk is at the minute for a residence visa, and you just have to keep reapplying for that every 3 years.
But that gives you access to that country.
Yeah.
And not Europe.
Travel rights. So, you can if you are on your way through France to get to Spain.
Yeah.
Then you've got that time to get through there, and that's it. But you can't use that.
It's not free European travel again.
No, it is per country if it works out that way. So it's going to be interesting to see after the 1st of January, so what the governments all decide is going to happen with the EU, and then what each individual country is going to do to try and save its winter tourism, I think, is going to be the thing.
So that's pretty much where we're at right now. Obviously, the next biggest thing we're all dealing with is Christmas.
Yes.
And we all think, hey, Christmas. I just want to make kind of something of a point of saying, put a post out recently on our Instagram account. For some people, and especially after the year we've had this year, it's not going to be a great Christmas. And you might be feeling pretty lonely out there. And you might want someone to talk to, and you might not have anybody to talk to, or you might not have the person that you want to talk to, or you might feel that the person that you've got isn't going to hear what you want to say.
Or is dealing with enough stuff of their own, so you don't want to talk to them.
So with that said, I'm going to put on the screen right now, there's a bunch of numbers there for all sorts of organisations.
So there are more out there, but this is just a selection.
The ones that we collected. It was basically a post that we've kind of like picked up and reposted from Instagram, and it's just the organisations that you would expect to be out there to help you, to hear you, talk to you, and offer advice if that's what you need.
Yeah, all the numbers are free phone numbers, so they're free from landlines and mobile phones, so don't worry about the cost of getting in touch with anybody to help you, but don't sit and suffer in silence.
No.
If you need someone to talk to, pick up the phone and phone any of those people. Reach out to anybody. I bet everybody is suffering in some way.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know anybody. I know a lot of people, and I don't know anybody who would refuse to speak to anybody.
No.
If they really needed the time and just a chance to have a chat about anything.
Text, phone, video chat, video message over WhatsApp, something like that, you've got that possibility. Just try and reach out to people that you think at this time of the year, but with what's going on, just might need a little bit of attention, just to know that you're thinking about them. But for everything that is going on in your life that is great right now, obviously that's really good. Just take that as you can right now, because we just got to make the most of it.
Absolutely.
And we just want to say Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to
Happy
everybody.
Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that.
Joyeux Noël.
Yes. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. We've heard that a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, we just wanted to say have a great time. Next week, or this week's vlog, won't be out until next Sunday. Right then, folks, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday.
See you Sunday. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.